The Golden State Warriors absolutely deserved this opportunity to move on to the second round. I got to give Steph Curry a lot of credit. I don't do that often. Steph Curry is one of the more unique players we've ever seen in NBA history. This guy is an unbelievable shooter, but there's other things that he does very, very well. And if you see the timeouts being called, Steph Curry's out there. He's in the middle of the huddle. He is the guy that's speaking with the coach and Steve Kerr, trying to give pointers and tips to all the players in the huddle. And it's great to watch because you want to see that team leadership, including with some of these great old players, these veteran players like Draymond Green and Jimmy Buckets, guys that have stepped back and let Steph Curry take over. This is the first time, honestly, I've seen Steph Curry take over as far as I'm concerned, as a leader. All these years, he's played with Klay Thompson, who was a fairly, unique player. And I would say, now, I wouldn't say he's Steph Curry, but he played the same exact way when it came to shooting the ball and his release point. Again, Steph Curry is the guy that plays the point, and he's running those pick and rolls, and he's the guy that you're getting the ball to when you're trying to get the ball inside or outside of when it comes to shooting. But what makes Steph Curry unique in this particular series against the Rockets is the Rockets were the young team. We've seen for years, we've seen the young Golden State Warriors, like I just mentioned, Klay Thompson, and then Steph Curry, and then Draymond Green. These guys, at one point of their lives, they were 22, 23 years old, and they were the youth. They were the young team in the NBA, the up-and-coming team. And now it's the complete opposite. Klay Thompson's no longer on the team. You brought in Jimmy Buckets. He's an older player, but a fairly sensational player in the playoffs and a great player all around, Hall of Famer. And then Draymond Green. He's a veteran player in his 30s. Steph Curry in his mid and late 30s. These guys are older now. They've been in these situations, and now you're seeing the difference when it comes to you're not young. You don't have the youth behind you. And I think the Rockets have a great future. I really do. I think they have a sensational coach as long as he keeps his hands to himself and he keeps other things to himself. He's a great coach. We've seen him take his team all the way to the finals, so he understands the game of basketball, and he understands how to take personalities like Green, who reminds me of a lot of personalities in the NBA that think that they're better than they are. And I think this is, to me, a great opportunity for Jalen Green in the offseason to figure out who he is in the NBA. He did not have a good game. He did not have a good series. And he is a guy that's up and down throughout the playoffs and sometimes around the regular season. You need to figure things out. If you want to be a star player in the NBA and you want to be considered one of the best two guards in the NBA, you got to play better. You got to figure out who you are on the basketball court. And some of these guys on the Rockets couldn't figure that out. What was so interesting to me is this was probably the best coaching job I've seen Steve Kerr have in his career as a head coach with the Golden State Warriors.
You're giving him credit now?
I'm giving him credit because, honestly, he's not the better coach in this series. He wasn't the better coach in this series. But nevertheless, he put his team in better and good positions than obviously the younger team. And he didn't run his team out rampantly. He didn't wait. He didn't make his team get it put into positions where they're tired, and they played a great rotation. They had a great rotation of players. I loved what I saw with the Golden State Warriors. The question is, can they do that against the Timberwolves? The Timberwolves are also a young team. They have a phenom like Edwards. They got a great big, and they have Julius Randle playing good basketball. They're getting good offense off the bench from Dante DiVincenzo. This is a good team. The Timberwolves, if they get through, and I'll say this, if they get through the Golden State Warriors, why couldn't they beat OKC? And we don't even know if OKC is going to come out of their next series against the Nuggets because we all know what Jokic is and what this team could do with the best player in the NBA. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about this series. Buddy Hield finally had a good game, ladies and gentlemen. Buddy Hield actually hit three-point shots the whole series, chucking up threes, trying to figure out where his shot was going to be and where he was going to.
You want to know something, Errol? The last time that he busted Dylan Brooks' ass, it was in Oregon when he almost had a 40-point game and beat him in the tournament.
Speaking of
and
Dylan
that's like
Brooks.
Two of his biggest games have been against him. He's at Oregon and Oklahoma, and then this series, and then he goes out and balls out and does what it is. Like, it was it was so funny seeing the comparisons and how he did. I was like, oh, the same guy again. That's interesting.
Speaking of Dylan Brooks, in Game 6, what he did to Steph Curry, and Steph Curry getting up and then at the press conference pretty much saying, he didn't say it in these words, but he called Dylan Brooks a bitch. That's pretty much what he said. He's a bitch, and he likes to push people around. He's not pushing me around, and the referees need to figure out how to call fouls on him and put him in, give him technical fouls. Dylan Brooks is one of the dirtiest players we ever seen. Draymond Green has been a dirty player his whole career, and some people compare Dylan Brooks to the old Draymond Green. Draymond Green is obviously not the same Draymond Green he once was, but he was, to me, it was one of the more dirtiest players I've ever seen play in the NBA. But I was impressed with what the Golden State Warriors did offensively, even defensively. And I'll give Jimmy Buckets a lot of credit. Jimmy Buckets isn't 100% healthy, but he has been as important defensively as any player on this Golden State Warriors team. He played the rim very well. He was rebounding the ball. He was defending multiple positions. He wasn't going out there looking for his shot. He knows that he has Steph Curry on the team. He knows that he has an offensive rounded team where if Buddy Hield is hitting shots and then you have all the other guys on the bench coming off the bench hitting shots, he doesn't need to go out there and score 30, 35 points like he did over there in Miami. And I think that, to me, is the difference and the difference factor going into the next series against the Timberwolves. I think if you get a Jimmy Buckets that could give you 20 and 10, you're going to have a chance to beat the Timberwolves, because the Timberwolves, you don't know what you're going to get with Anthony Edwards. And all you got to do is get into Anthony Edwards' head, as we've seen before. And remember what happened to Dallas in the Western Conference Finals last year? As soon as Luka got into his head and Kyrie Irving got into his head, he was not the same player. And I believe that if this team, the Golden State Warriors, with the veterans that they have on this team and the way they run their rotations off the bench, there is nobody that would probably predict that the Timberwolves wouldn't come out the winner of this series. But again, I'm looking at the veterans. I'm looking at the talent that the Golden State Warriors have now and what they did at the trade deadline. There's no doubt in my mind that this team can knock off a very good, young Timberwolves team that I believe that if they get out of this series, there's no doubt in my mind they could beat the OKC Thunder or even the Denver Nuggets.